5 Republicans opposed to Trump Care 2, so-called fantastic bill, or in favor of a bipartisan negotiation, such as that Senator Alexander and Senator Murray are going forward with. Second, I just heard our Republican colleagues speak. There was a word missing: people, patience, care, all this stuff. Democrat, Republican, governors, Washington. How about how this affects people? Millions will lose coverage. No guarantee of pre-existing conditions. And an end to Medicaid as we know it. Tens of millions of people could well lose coverage. People who desperately need essential services would lose it. Our Republican colleagues don't seem to care about how this affects the average American. That's why previous Trump Care bills were so unpopular. That's why this bill is so unpopular. And that's why, despite all their efforts, they're struggling. Because their own senators know that the public dislikes this bill. The latest version of Trump Care may live under a new name, Graham Cass, but no matter.
Good morning, people weebles. I am about to go run to the bus stop. But Just wanted to say sorry I'm late. I've spent the last 2.5 hours trying to get my computer to work. First, I was unable to chat on Rico's Reef. But I see now he's down to 5 watchers. He had 30 yesterday. Which is probably about what I should have on an average broadcast, about 30 people in here watching. Wouldn't you say, Max? 1% of the subscribers. Easy. And today, my broadcast software stopped working. And my start menu stopped working. And I tried to do startup repair like the way that they tell you to do it. And that didn't work. So I did it my way. Interrupt post 5 times. Windows automatically writes a new boot sector. You're good. And then I had to reinstall my broadcast software, but that actually went well. And I almost gave away why, but I'm not going to, because that would just make it too easy for them to fuck it up again. So, I'm going to let y'all continue to listen to the announcement from Mr. Chuck Schumer. And I'm going to be right back.
Radically. And then tell the states to figure out who to cut. This is not a neutral bill. It simply devolves power to the states. It's a bill to end Medicaid as we know it and let the governors do the dirty work. That is why 10 sent for governors from the states of Colorado, Ohio, Alaska, Montana, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Louisiana, Nevada, Massachusetts, and Vermont. 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans have said, don't care to, don't do Grant Cassidy. And just on the substance, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, it'll result in about $700 billion in cuts to health care by 2027. It will cause millions to lose coverage. Millions. Radically restructure and deeply cut Medicaid. Bring us back to the days when insurance companies could discriminate against people with pre-existing conditions. Get rid of the consumer protections. Give Americans access to maternity care, substance abuse, prescription drugs. And it will throw the individual markets into chaos, resulting in 15 million people losing coverage. If they let the CBO keep working, if CBO weren't pressured to put out something that's just a few lines, this would all be told by CBO. How do we know?
Just had my hand. Bingo.
They're afraid. They are afraid of the public. They know Bill. So they're trying to push it through the dark night. We want, above all, a bill that protects average Americans, not slashes the health care they need, whether the governor or Washington try to do that as well. We want to work in a bipartisan process to make things better. We want the House, the President, Republican leadership to stop pressuring those who want to come up with a bipartisan solution to refrain from doing it. We can make this work in a bipartisan way. The final thing I'd say is this. We have seen very, very hopeful sprouts of bipartisanship in the last month. Going back to this Trump Care 2, Grant Cassidy shut down that bipartisanship that America yearns for. And I'm going to call on folks in the Sabbath.
Well, thank you very much to all my colleagues, and thank you to everybody who has now re-engaged, to email, to call, to be involved in this effort one more time to pass a form of Trump Care, which is actually really what is coming. And we do know that it's disastrous for the people of Michigan, for people across the country, and certainly as disastrous when we talk about
Tiger
the
Lily.
loss of essential, basic
Piss
health
off.
care provisions for people.
Come.
Essentially, it would let states give insurance companies, because this is who we're really talking about making decisions, insurance companies a bright green light to put profits before patients. And when does healthcare stop being healthcare? Is it healthcare if it doesn't cover prescription drugs? Is it health insurance if it doesn't cover maternity care? Is it health insurance if it doesn't cover emergency rooms? Is it health insurance if it doesn't cover people that have pre-existing conditions? And is it health insurance if it doesn't cover mental health or substance abuse treatment in the middle of an opioid epidemic? I want to remind Republicans that health care isn't political, it's personal. The way they were just talking about it, standing right here, was very political. And for all of us, for our families, and for the people in this country, it is very personal. When a young cancer patient can't afford the medication that keeps her alive because her insurance won't cover it, it's personal. When a mechanic who realizes his lifetime dream of owning his own shop has to pay more for insurance because he hurt his back a few years ago, that's very personal. And when a woman has to pay more for her health insurance just because she's a woman, that is personal. And you know what? I take it personally. People of Michigan take it personally. All of my colleagues take it personally. And that's why we will fight this
pack of cigarettes has
every way
disappeared.
possible on behalf of the people we represent.
Thanks, Chuck. We were watching in the other room when the Republicans gave the press conference. It was interesting. One of the sponsors of this legislation got up and said, this is really about the great national debate between socialism and states' rights. Really? It's not about the great national debate over
Can you
socialism
fucking come in
and
here
states'
one
rights.
time without
It's
farting
about
a
basic
fucking
health care
broadcast?
for families of America. And if this is such a hot deal for governors all across America, how do you explain 5 Republican governors, like the governor of
Fuck, I'm almost
Alaska,
40 years old, I got
the
IBS. I
governor
don't
of
fart on a
Nevada,
fucking broadcast.
coming out publicly against this notion of states' rights? Why are they turning their back on opportunity to receive this money and make the decision locally and be popular for votes, as one of these senators said? Because they can count. And when they count, they realize there's not enough money under this plan coming from Washington to sustain health care in their states and to keep up with the cost of health care in the future. They're realists. They understand it full well. It isn't a question between socialism and states' rights. It's a question about whether or not we're going to provide basic care. I don't see a lot of people across America complaining about Social Security because it's a Washington program. The heck they complain about it. They realize it's liberating them in their senior years for a good life. And the same thing's true for Medicare. And the second issue I want to raise was one that was raised by the other sponsor of this legislation, the Jimmy Kimmel test. Remember when he referred to that? You know what that's all about. This gentleman, who's well known on late night TV as a comedian, had a tough time. His baby was born with a serious problem. And he raised the question on his TV show, what's going to happen to families like mine under all this talk about the new Trump care? Well, I can tell you under this Trump care version, it's not a good outcome. First off, if that family happens to be under Medicaid, there's a serious question as to whether there's enough coverage. Half the babies born in Illinois are covered by Medicaid. Their moms are covered by Medicaid on prenatal care. You want a healthy baby? You want a healthy mom, too. And when you cut back on Medicaid, as this bill does, you lessen that opportunity. And once that baby is born, once that family has a child with a pre-existing condition, under this Trump care bill, it will haunt them the rest of their lives when they try to buy health insurance. That is one thing that we stood up for on the Affordable Care Act and said we're not going to give in on this at all. We don't want people discriminated against because they have a member of their family who was born with a birth defect, or because someone has survived cancer care, or someone has had diabetes in their family. They walk away
God
from it in this
Vegas.
bill. They say that's one of the options that insurance companies can play with when they decide what your premiums will
My
be.
name is Wolford
Time and
Brumley.
again, when you look at this bill,
I
there's
make
a real reason why they don't
$25,000
want
every
the
time I
American
say the
people
word
to take part.
diabetes.
The rates are going to go up for senior citizens.
Diabetes,
That's why
diabetes.
AARP is opposed to it.
Diabetes,
The reimbursement
diabetes.
to hospitals is going to go down.
Diabetes.
That's why the American Hospital Association and all the state chapters oppose it. And
My
it's
name
not
is
going to
Wolford
provide
Brumley.
quality care that healthcare
I just made
professionals like nurses and doctors
$250,000
know that all of us need. This
saying
is a
the word
rallying point. Many of us thought in July this battle was over for this year at least. It's not. The battle is going to pick up steam, pick up in importance for every family from this point forward.
To Senator Schumer, I'm just going to make a couple of additional points. My colleagues have said it very well. The first point is right after Graham Cassidy Heller passes, healthcare markets are going to enter a free fall. And the reason that that's the case, and I would urge you to talk to insurance commissioners about Trump 2.0, is
Sitting on that
would
chair.
have a combination of no
You passed it right up.
sharing, plus rollback consumer protection, so that you'll have a particularly large number of people who are frail and vulnerable. Make no mistake about what happens.
Oh.
Your free fall insurance market. The second point that I want to mention,
How did that even happen?
several of the Republicans talked
See, I did not overestimate the length of the cord.
their proposal
The length of the cord overestimated me. What? Meow. Tell him, kitten.
Money laundering program. And the reality is you cannot have
Okay, Dingo, we'll just wait for you. We'll just wait till the dog's done drinking. And then we can have our sanity back. Just kidding. That's funny. So, anyways, good morning, Maximo, Emily, Taylor, Polly, whatever. Okay. Oh, yes, you got to watch the Matter with HRC. Congratulations. I'm going to be doing more quotes from the book for the little intro moment of Zen thing that I've been doing. Do any of y'all actually get to catch that when I do that? The little intro things that I do? I put, effort and stuff into them. Kitten. Hello. What you doing, kitten? Meow, meow, meow. For a second there, I thought you were talking about the N-word. I'm like, wait, what? Okay. That's what I get for reading backwards from the bottom right. Meow. Cool. Kitten, what is your problem? Once you get that saucer, hold it all the way up to the top of the milk. Just fill the center with milk. Let her stay there. You cannot jump down. Ha! I mushed you with my toe. Stop farting on my broadcast. Dingo. You don't fart in my broadcast, do you? Y'all are the same age. You'd think you'd learn how to not fart on my broadcast. I'll be squeezing another one out. We have bathrooms.
As if you could see your points.
I do what I'm supposed to.
But you still give them an awkward time.
Shh. Kitten, go away. Go get a job. Kitten, you got your resume finished. You gotta learn how to pull your own weight around here, man. Just because you're, you know, the size of my palm doesn't mean nothing. You can go be a pilot. See? Wah wah. I know. It's the size of a palm. It's a pilot. It's a palm pilot. We have 3,160 subscribers and 2 people on the live stream. Moderators. What do we have, like 1 person that comes in here that isn't a moderator? For fuck's sake. I mean, I know we ban a lot of people, but still. They all deserve it. But you can't search for Still With Her and actually get people that you want to talk to. You search for Still With Her, you search for anything, for the past fucking year, you search for anything to do with patriotic viewpoints, with pro-Obama administration viewpoints, with pro-Hillary viewpoints, and all you find is the fucking Alex Jones Shill Network and the Young Turks. You don't find this broadcast. You don't find friendly people to hang out with, to talk with, to chat with, to get news from, to spread news to. They suppress us. This has been a concerted attack against the American people. See, they call it an attack on the election, but since when is an attack on the group of people considered to be anything but an attack on America? See, if they targeted Republicans only, which by the way, Republicans were targeted. Republicans just don't realize they were targeted. They were attacked. They don't feel attacked because, I mean, the wound had anesthetic. But say if some evil empire with, like, you know, Muslims and stuff, and gay people, well, Muslims and gay people, yes, all of them are black. I don't know. Bunch of gay black Muslims. Released a retrovirus that turned Republicans into anti-patriotic zombies. Well, like, people would be pissed, you know. Oh, but it's okay because they say they want to take down their own government. Yeah, but it's a virus. Clearly, that would be an attack. That would be a terrorist attack on the whole country. Democrats would recognize that as a terrorist attack on the whole country. Well, basically the same thing happened. The American people were attacked. Democrats were harassed and suppressed, and in many cases pushed to extreme depression and even suicide. Okay, Democrats. Republicans were brainwashed against their own government, are still being brainwashed against their own political best interests. And it's not just the rich elite brainwashing them. It's Russian propaganda brainwashing them. And those rich elites who collude with that Russian propaganda and use it to maintain their own power are traitors. Not just Trump, all of them. They're traitors. And frankly, anyone who manufactures their own propaganda, similar to that of the Horde, which caused us to found this nation, should be considered a traitor anyways. Republicans before we knew about Russia, they were already basically traitors. Anarchists, and anarchism and bribery was their political platform. Bush got elected basically he found a way to say, I'm bribing you, without bribing you. It should be illegal to say, I'm going to give you a tax cut. It should be perfectly legal to say, I'm not going to raise taxes on these people. It should be perfectly legal to state individual tax policies, short of that, if you vote for me, you're going to get money. Anything that equates to that should be considered bribery. Voter bribery. And relying on that, plus fear-mongering, that's why this happened to the Republicans. That's why they were susceptible to the whoredom of the land of Nod. Meow. Tell him, kitten. You bunch of whores. So, speaking of whoredom, last night's Rachel Maddow was... Oh, hey, James. Last night's Rachel Maddow was, well, it wasn't just something. It was something else. And on today's, series of site uploaders, it seems that NBC Universal has gone copyright happy with this particular episode for no apparent reason. Although, let's see if this one's still up. This video contains content from NBC Universal, who has blocked it in your country on copyright grounds. That's on Inside Politics, Paranormal Lockdown. Let's see. And also on MSNBC's actual channel. What the hell is it? It's not. Wait, the video on MSNBC's channel isn't showing up anymore? Oh, wow, that's messed up. I was going to check and see if Paranormal Lockdown had a side-by-side upload of it. And that's not even showing up on my history list. And now, MSNBC. I can't play this episode if they're getting copyright happy on it, because then they'll wind up. I'm not gonna play this episode if they're getting copyright happy on it, because then they'll wind up blocking this whole fucking episode, this whole video. But now I just want to see. Oh, and it's still up there. It's not in my history anymore. Oh no, now it's... Wow. Now it showed up in my history. It wasn't there just a second ago. It's a 21-minute freaking video. But,
thanks, Stuart Home. Intend to indict him. Again, the president's campaign manager being told by prosecutors that he will be indicted. We'll have more on that in a second, including a live interview.
So yeah, this Rachel Maddow episode is explaining that Paul Manafort is getting charged. He's getting indicted. As well as the length of time in which the FBI has been investigating, and including FISA warrants, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act court order warrants, that have the requirement of basically somebody being a national security threat. Okay. And these wiretaps have gone on since before the campaign and have gone on until after the inauguration. So Paul Manafort is now known to have not only been wiretapped for foreign interactions with Russia and Ukraine, or with his former corrupt Ukrainian pro-Russian colleagues, but basically they've been following him in this money laundering investigation, and he was in contact with Trump himself as recently as January 2017. Possibly even more recently. This is just all we know about so far with the drip, 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 drip. So now they're looking at Facebook's ties to Russia and how Jared Kushner basically coordinated the collusion between the Trump campaign in Russia through Facebook targeted advertising, among others. They seem to be purposely leaving out YouTube and Google for now. I think that's going to be very interesting once they move on from where they're at now. But notice how they as obvious as it is that YouTube's been involved here, they've been leaving that out. But YouTube suppresses their own viewership to a certain extent, making themselves look like less of a threat. Less of an influence, should I say. They don't suppress like the actual viewership as a whole. They suppress the number of views that get counted as a whole. Even on like Taylor Swift and shit, she doesn't get paid as much as she should by YouTube. Because they just don't want the level of influence to register. The fact of the matter is, a lot of people use YouTube. Millions. There's 20 million people on here right now, you know. And 4 people watching fucking, me. Who am I? 4 people? Just such a fitting irony. Still annoying, but just such a fitting irony. What's the matter, kitten? You need to go potty? You need to go potty in here? There you go. Good kitty. She's actually beginning to use the litter box. Yeah, YouTube has not really been covered by any of this. Like, it just hasn't made it into the news as being part of the inquiry at all. Another thing that came out today is the actual manner of the raid They picked his lock. The FBI got specifically warrant permission to pick his lock to prevent him from destroying evidence. So they came and knocked on his bedroom door and woke him up. They entered silently.
At the kleptocracy thing at the Justice Department to instead start working.
Yeah, and Kyle Freeney, who used to be working the kleptocracy probes against Yankovic in Ukraine and against not Duarte in the Philippines, but that one general who had the coup in Malaysia a few years back, or had attempted a coup after being disgraced for the basically stealing his country's money. I'm not sure which order that happened in, actually. But anyways, Malaysia and Ukraine. This guy was tracking the money laundering and trying to track down Yankovic from Ukraine, you know, the former president of Ukraine. He is now joining the Trump-Russia probe, the Mueller investigation. So that's pretty funny.
The CNN report tonight.
And that's CNN Politics is who's reporting that Manafort has been the subject of the investigation that began in 2014 because Manafort used to work for Yankovic. So literally, one of the guys that helped this corrupt mafia dictator take over democratic Ukraine and embezzle all their fucking money, he volunteered. Remember that. He volunteered, says, I'm not going to charge Trump to run his campaign for him. And then proceeded to basically steal the primaries.
Last year.
Yes, last year. Thank you, Rachel. And apparently the first warrant was discontinued, and then they actually got some more evidence and then renewed the whole thing, and that continued until 2017. And it just says continued until early this year. It doesn't even say January. Huh. It just says early this year. Excuse me. Wow.
Continued into early this year, including a period when Paul Manafort was known to talk to President Donald Trump.
After he was elected, quote unquote, and he's been saying, I haven't had any talk. I barely know the guy. But they say it's unclear whether Trump was picked up on the surveillance. Well, if they knew he talked to him and they're surveilling the one guy, then Trump was picked up on the surveillance, wasn't he? And then she goes into another New York Times piece from March on how American allies, including the British and the Dutch, have provided information describing meetings in European cities between Russian officials and associates of President-elect Trump. So I highly recommend that everyone goes and watches this full episode and share it as much as possible, because even as groundbreaking as it is, and as vigilant they are being apparently for no reason all of a sudden about their copyright protection, it's only showing, get this Max, 44,174 views. And let's... Oh, wow. On the uploads thing, 2 views, then 666 views. Two views. $666 views. 7687, 620, 148. MSNBC. Oh. 148 people are interested in seeing Morning Joe's founding memory. 148 people. 10-year anniversary of Morning Joe, 148 people. One of the most syndicated, most popular shows on television. Mayor de Blasio, 1 view. Mayor de Blasio, New York. 1 view. That's special. That just really, really is special. Did y'all make out the numbers? Like, how is that possible? Like, there's just no way MSNBC uploads something, and that's like, you get more views through fucking Twitter scrolling, because they can you know, they can port the video through from YouTube through Twitter, okay, and you got millions of people scrolling MSNBC on Twitter every day. And as you pass it, it auto-loads the video and auto-plays the video. So every time you pass the YouTube-ported video on MSNBC's Twitter, MSNBC gets a view on their YouTube channel. Right? That's how all the fucking, you know, that's how Alex Jones and all them did it. Keith Olbermann does that. Yet it's still, oh, I'm not allowed to do that.
Oh.
Twitter just doesn't even let me do that.
Oh, but
Keith Olbermann still doesn't seem like he's got but a quarter of the views he really does. But that is rather weird, how NBC Universal is suddenly all... Oh, and there's another one. It's got Rachel Maddow on it, and the icon's gone black. I don't even need to click on that. Once you realize something's being removed, and you see all the black icons with just a little white YouTube thing, that means they've all been wiped. So it's possible there's someone even at MSNBC on the inside colluding to keep things silent. Someone on the inside at MSNBC who's basically screwing up MSNBC's bottom line, costing them money in ad revenue. can hardly believe they're gonna try to fucking make a new Trump don't care bill. You can't really call it a Trump care bill, because it's not like a care bill. It's Trump don't care. Bulk Reef Supply.com. Let's see if they got any more Magna lectures uploaded. It's showing their most recent upload as 3 years ago, so... Oh, and actually no. It's doing the thing where the MSNBC uploads are only like 10 videos long, and then it doesn't scroll any further back. And the most recent upload is from like a day ago. So like it's still showing on the Rachel Maddow Show playlist, last night's Rachel Maddow Show, but like on the uploads, it's missing. So if you go to most recent uploads, it's just not there. I'm using the PlayStation, but you know, still, it's one of many major interfaces, and it counts. Just pointing that out because don't expect the same error to repeat on multiple platforms. Every different platform is prone to different types of errors, different types of glitches. Pass or fail black box LED. Oh, speaking of reefing stuff, Maximo, you want to discuss some more reefing stuff? I think I have figured out, like, what I want to do. So, let me just fucking put paint up there. How about that? Alright. There we go. This is totally gonna work. Okay. Sure. Anyways. So, as you may have noticed in my bathroom, I have many stinky things. I mean, no, I have an RODI unit that filters water from the tap and turns it into water that is pure enough to be used in a reef aquarium. It has 3 big chambers on the bottom, and what's called a membrane on top. Okay. Now, your DI, or deionizing resin, is in this last chamber here. I guess I could just label them. And this is carbon block, and this is your pre-filter. Okay, and here is your membrane. And it's insane, yo. Now, the company that I am going to recommend, and I'm even going to like offer to do them a commercial because they really do have the best RODI units on eBay, and like nobody should be buying anything else right now on eBay. If you want something off of eBay for the second best, cheapest thing, bulk Reef Supply. As far as on eBay goes, these guys are awesome, and it's called H2O Science. And they're cool. They supply kits with a pressure gauge that helps you understand exactly what's going on with your unit when you plug it in. Okay. So the DI resin is the final stage. Your output goes from here to the bucket or whatever. Okay? In my case, a big jug. Your kitchen sink water goes through the pre-filter, then goes to the carbon. Then you have a line that goes through here and also attaches to your pressure gauge, and then also, I believe, I'm not exactly sure how it all links up. I didn't review it before I started the video. But then there's another valving line that goes back into your sink. Okay, and when you turn on this valve, it reverse flushes the membrane. Okay, and before you hook the membrane up, when you first get your kit, you hook it up to the sink, and then you hook this up straight to that line, and that's how you rinse your carbon when you first buy your RODI unit, or when you first install a carbon block. So this is what's called a 4-stage RODI unit. And it does 50 gallons per day. And it has a 1 micron rating. And that's 1 micron on the pre-filter and 1 micron on the carbon block. Okay, so instead of granulated carbon, it's a block of carbon. Now, this kit is $124 shipped, and that's wonderful. Okay, but now my DI resin, which changes colors as it gets done, my DI resin is now becoming exhausted. Okay, so what I need to do is either replace this guy here, or take this opportunity to do what people who keep reef tanks consider to be a necessary thing. Okay, so DI resin will change colors, and basically when it's almost exhausted, it's not working at its full efficiency because the water isn't passing through enough of the active resin. So you're left with two choices. Do you swap it out early, or do you let some contaminants through? Or do you do what is basically the rationale behind my upgrade? You get a dual DI unit. Okay. Now, H2O Science on eBay sells a dual DI unit that runs by itself, or runs, separately in its own on its own little stand. Okay. But if you get that, then you're still left with this extra position on your main rack. Okay. So my logic, and I've just emailed them. I haven't checked to see if they emailed me back. Kitten is attacking my t-shirt while I lean forward. What I plan to do is put a 0.5 micron carbon block. See, if I have a 1 micron carbon block, and then reduce to a 0.5 micron carbon block, not only is that cleaning the water more, but it's cleaning the water more before it goes to the membrane. Then it goes from the membrane to the DI resin. Then from one DI to the next, and then from that DI to the water tank. Oh yeah, look how beautiful that is. So, H2O Science not only sells this setup here for $120 and this setup for, I think it was $72 shipped, but this little guy here comes with a meter on it. That's your TDS meter. And what that does is basically gives you a readout on the ion content remaining in the water as it's outputted. So it's basically, it's a gauge for how effective your whole system is. And this is with serious reef keepers in mind. These people sell a lot of other reef keeping type water filtration stuff. They're not a drinking water filter maker. Everything they make is to clean water for reef tanks. So they give you these two cartridges. So as the first one gets exhausted, you don't have to worry about pass through. you don't have to worry about contaminants. You can wait till that first one's exhausted, then put the new one in, swap the second one to the first position, put the new one in the second position, and then you're running full redundancy, you're running maximum filtration the whole time, and you don't have any period in which you're going to see algae blooms in your reef tank because your DI resin was going out. Now, in addition to that, if they approve of my question, like if I get a yes for an answer, as far as this thing here goes, the 0.5 after the 1 carbon, what that'll do is, you know, everything bigger than 1 micron will get caught in the pre-filter and in this carbon block. Okay, and then between that and that will get caught in the 0.5 micron. So the 0.5 micron carbon won't get clogged up very fast, right? The pre-filter should keep the first carbon from getting clogged up very fast. But then you have the membrane, okay? That's a ceramic membrane that's designed to work under pressure, and it removes all types of contaminants, not just ions, not just organic contaminants like carbon blocks. Well, if you're running a 50-gallon per day membrane and it's got holes between 1/10 and 1 micron, and you're only letting 0.5 micron particles through, that membrane is going to take a long time to get clogged. And you're going to wind up from the membrane to the DI, and you can test the TDS from there to there just by rearranging the hoses, I'm sure. You're going to wind up with very clean water going into that DI system. The DI resin is going to get used slower. The DI resin is going to be redundant. Your membrane is going to get used slower. And the main things that you're going to be replacing are now the cheap ones, which are those carbon blocks in the pre-filter. So that is my complete lowdown on what to do for an RODI system. And I think the two things that set H2O Science apart and why I recommend them, and I do hope to launch another channel that has nothing to do with politics soon, because it is rather tedious getting fucking harassed in everything I do. But I would like to do like a promo for them, and maybe they'll give me one of those things I'm about to buy from them. But of all the different people selling different stages of different crap on eBay, they're the ones that have the 1 micron pre-filter and carbon block, and they're the ones that have the flush kit valve and the pressure gauge included with a basic RODI system. Okay? A lot of people charge you extra for the pressure gauge and the flush kit. Flush kit, I mean, it's like you use it every month to make sure there's no carbon dust getting built up in the membrane. Basically, you just backwards flow the membrane for a few minutes, and it goes out into that valve right there, and it keeps the membrane relatively clear between replacements. They charge you extra for that. And then even on top of that, competitor's $69, they're $72 for this dual DI setup, which, let me just say again, man, when that resin is going out, you don't want to waste it, but you need to replace it. You need to have because it's a little bit of resin left isn't doing much as far as taking all the ions out of your water, right? And ions, the metals is what they're talking about, kill corals, kill anemones. Good for fish, bad for corals, bad for anemones. So you have a dual one, and then you change out one cartridge at a time, and then you're using all of your resin. It just makes so much more sense. And then their TDS, the competitor costs $69. Theirs costs $72, and they include the fucking TDS meter right there on the unit, so you can see the actual results you get. What are you doing, kitten? Come here. Come here. She's just a little bit playful right now. So this is basically your freshwater supply. It zeroes out the mineral content and contaminant content of freshwater to like 0.001, 99.999% of all contaminants are removed, and you are left with pure H2O. You will get more contaminants from boiling water and letting it evaporate and condense. Now, if you do actual reverse osmosis, which is steam distillation, then do this, quote, reverse osmosis, then you get the water even cleaner. But, steam distillation is a pain in the ass, isn't it? And this is better, so this is what we do. And then once you add your salt mix, there's no unforeseen reactions, and there's no phosphates. I mean, there are actually like phosphates in copper, which is a medication for fish that will kill corals. I mean, just kill corals. You got copper piping, coming through your house if you're lucky, And there's lead, there's all kinds of different stuff, and tap water and plumbed water in general. And this is designed to take it all out. So then you add your salt mix, and you have chemically accurate salt water. Any questions? I have way too much fun using MS Paint. uh, yeah, I'm really very used to being tired. It can't be healthy, but high school just kind of broke me of need for regular sleep. Waking up at fucking basically a quarter after 4. Getting to work at a quarter to 5. Where are you going, little kitten? Please don't shit under there. Who needs PowerPoint presentations when you can just, think in MS Paint graphics? But yeah, man, my schedule now is nothing compared to fucking high school. Just wiggle it!
Finally. Thanks, Dad.
Kitten! Where'd you go, kitten? She's exploring. I'm terrified. There's no real stopping her unless you want to hear it go meow, meow, meow. Ha! I got you. Meow. 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 Kitten. She is very active today, just increasingly active every day. You get your room cleaned up? Meow. Kitten. Look at you, huh? Meow. Oh, don't go that way. What are you looking at, Dingo? Dingo. A little more effort, please. And then, yes, you may. Yes, kitten is better than beer. Except for when kitten craps on your bed, which kitten did yesterday, while I was trying to take a nap. Meow. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Meow. Quit turning the pillow. I'm trying to climb off of it. I know. That's why I'm turning the pillow. Ha ha ha. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Why don't you sit still? Well, not that still. Oh, the kitten. Yes. Hendrick Honda, one of the most likely teams to one day have an Accord NASCAR. Joey has found it too. She is half the, like, not even half the size of her sibling. Like, seriously, they're like normal 2-month-old plus looking kittens, and she looks like she's a week old. And sounds like it too. She's got this little squeaky meow. She is checking out Dingo. What are you doing? You can't leave. You have to entertain your audience. What about your fans? Tiger Lily is showing no signs of getting over her presence anytime soon. She just hisses every time. .1 magnitude earthquake has struck south of Mexico City. No, where are you going? No, where are you going? Stay there. Where do you think you're going? Listen for Mommy. Where do you think you're going? So yeah, alright, this is not working. The kitten will not sit still. Anyways. Like I was saying, I got just the one unit, okay, and that's all you're going to need for a good long time. There was a lead warning for the tap water around here, and my wife started, saying we should use the RODI system for drinking water. And one thing I didn't have on it was a little pre-membrane or pre-DI pre-filter, because you can use the pre-filter and the carbon block, and that's good enough for drinking water. You add the membrane to that, that's really good for drinking water. But, like, you really don't need a fucking DI for lead, which isn't ionized. It doesn't do anything. It's for the metals that actually would normally be good for human drinking water because they're trace elements. we done exhausted my fucking unit. Almost exhausted it. Just too much drinking water. Too many water changes. You know, I do a lot more water changes than you're going to need to, because you're not going to be breeding clownfish anytime soon, I don't think. So you just get that first setup, and then wait until that DI resin turns from black to brown. Then you buy your upgrade. I wonder how long it's going to take before the Trump shills are sitting there saying it's because they wouldn't pay for the wall. Oh, the Senate has canceled their meeting with
The
Trump's
president's
attorney,
personal attorney, Michael Cohen.
Cohen. Very interesting. Well, everybody pray for people in Mexico City, man. I'm going to go ahead and call it a broadcast so I can watch this 2017 Civic Type R versus Subaru WRX STI track battle. And then I'm going to try to take myself a little nap. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. If I'm lucky. Maybe I'll just doze off a little on the couch while I watch this thing. That'd be good enough. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you learned something. And go catch up on those, on that Rachel Maddow. And see if you can find last night's Brian Williams too, because he was talking about it. And probably he always digs up something interesting. In addition, he doesn't satisfy himself with just talking to people. You know, always some interesting questions, interesting perspectives, as well as information. And I'll see y'all some more. Be broadcasting again later tonight, more than likely. Thanks for watching again, everybody, and please click the like button. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And check your subscription if you are subscribed. Your subscription may just fall off for no reason. Also, click the little notification bell. Thanks once again for watching. I am your host, Take It Easy.
understand. I've known, Lord, I've known. It's in my heart.